Okay, since I assume not all of you go to Stockholm for your summer vacation, although you should, it's a beautiful place, at least in the summer when it's not raining and 14 degrees. TV4 Group is 15, 20 linear, digital, ad-funded TV video services. We sort of like to consider ourselves the ITV of Scandinavia. We have a market share in the Swedish market of about 50% for total TV. That means we're above 50 for the linear television. We're obviously then slightly below 50 or well below 50 for the digital AVOD market. And this year, 2007, as we're all battling the digital transformation, TV4 Group is making our best year in our history. We've been around for 25 years, and this year is going to be our highest turnover ever, and we're going to deliver the highest profit margin ever. And the reason, or one of the main reasons behind this is digital. Digital became significant money a year or two ago for us. However, this year, we are growing close to 70%, that is 70, and our digital revenue is really pushing both our top line and our profitability. However, digital growth has not always been the case for us, as I assume for all other broadcasters out there. And let me give you a bit of a background on that. Because Sweden is not only IKEA, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and meatballs. We do have a strong history of innovation. Back in the days, Ericsson helped us all communicating on the mobile net. These days, we have Skype, we have the Pirate Bay, not that we like them, but they come from Sweden. We have Spotify, those guys we like much better. Changing the way we communicate, changing the way we consume media. And obviously, this is a lot of good things coming with that. However, there's a lot of challenges as well, being in the Swedish market, having a society adapting this quickly. We like to compare ourselves to Germany, not only because we're envious of their linear viewing time, but also because it's a big market, it's an advanced market. In Germany, you have, and as someone pointed out earlier, if you break down this in target groups, you see different patterns. But on an overall picture, you have quite a stable linear consumption, and you have an OTT consumption growing, but from a very, very low level. This was also Sweden a couple of years ago. However, we're seeing quite a rapid downturn in the linear consumption, but in my world, in our world, 1/3 of all what we would like to call TV consumption is OTT. Be it my services, be it Netflix, be it YouTube, 1/3 of all our consumption is OTT. And that obviously is something that changes the situation in which you're working. So that's sort of the background. Since 2012, OTT has, to start with, been taking part of the consumption. And now, in our world, of course, in a matter of years, OTT will be the primary mean of distribution for television content. And as all the broadcasters, this creates anxiety. I joined the TV4 Group for around 3.5 years ago. Enthusiasm was great. Digital is here. We're going to embrace the new. However, anxiety was greater. What does that mean? Market shares going south, losing out to all the American giants. YouTube were killing us on the advertising market. However, step by step, and as always, there are no miracles, step by steps, we have been managing to improve our position, and I'm extremely happy to say that in this year, we are killing YouTube. The Swedish AVOD market is growing with roughly 35%. Given that we're growing at 70, you'll have a YouTube that is, at best, is flat on the Swedish market in 2017. So out of anxiety, we have managed to put down, I don't know if we call it golden rules. I call them golden rules in this presentation. At least it is 3 guidelines that we are using and that has served us very well in this transformation. First is obviously trust your content. I remember a couple of years ago, then we were looking at all the other markets, all the other players, say, what are we going to do different? What other kind of content is there that's going to, attract the new audience? And at the end of the day, the answer to that question is that a good story, what used to be a good story, still is a good story. We have managed to improve the way we produce. I'll give you a short glimpse of that in a while. The way we produce our content. So today, our successful content is as strong on a digital platform in a digital audience as it is on linear. And once you land on that position that, trust your content, you can do a lot of good stuff for your digital business. The first stuff we did was making it clear to all the people internally and externally that if you want to be part of the TV4 world, this fantastic world of content, you're very welcome to our platforms. Sure, you spend time on Facebook, YouTube, we'll meet you there, we engage with you there, but there's no other way to consume TV4 than on our own platforms. And you know what? It's for the sake of the users, it's for the sake of the advertisers. Second, we said, you know what? Our content is so good, it's not only that it's only available on our platforms. If you want it, and in the AVOD environment, it's for free, you just have to cope with commercial. If you want it, you also need to give us your information. You need to log in. I know a couple of guys have done that here in UK as well. Giving us the possibility to give the user a much, much better personalized experience than they have in a linear world. And obviously for the advertisers, getting loads of first-hand data. Second, what we did is we have a very strong cooperation with operators. Operators and TV4 has a long and very fruitful relationship. But you know what? OTT, that is our domain. So we have a SVOD service helping us to capitalize on the pay window. We do allow our content in TV services and so on and so forth on one condition. The inventory is ours, and you use it using our login so we can use our data. So from this first sort of rule or guideline, trust your content. If you trust your content, you can do a lot of important stuff, important for the user, important for the advertiser, and then obviously, at the end of the day, important for your revenues. So that's a lot about how you distribute it, how you give access to different users. Obviously, you need to work with the content as well. And let me give you a short glimpse on that using this video.
Vinnare av Idol 2004 är Daniel!
The way we worked in 2004 differs from how we work now in almost every respect. Back then, we produced around 28 hours for Idol, whereas today, the numbers of hours produced across all platforms is tenfold. People are constantly moving between different platforms. During qualification week, for example, more than 100,000 viewers switched from the linear broadcast to TV4 Play in just 10 seconds. Today we reach approximately 3.2 million people in total. More interestingly is the fact that we reach completely different target audiences on different platforms.
TV4 Sweden and Fremantle Sweden have come together to produce one of the most successful combinations of linear and digital broadcasting across the entire world.
So that's 10 years development for Swedish Idol, bigger than ever on all platforms in Sweden. So that's the first one, trust your content. The second one also came out from anxiety. A couple of years ago, looking at all these cool digital guys, and they were measuring everything, and you could get data on this and that and whatever and whatnot. We stepped back, we talked a lot to the advertisers, and you know what? There are some fundamentals in the TV business that is worth bringing forward into the new future. One of them is obviously that we work in a transparent environment in the old television. A couple of years ago we had this discussion, you know what, should we mix online video with banner? What a great idea, or not. Instead we said, you know what, we should mix TV with TV. Doesn't that make sense? You have Swedish Idol here, it's on a Samsung television, linear TV channel. You have Idol here, it's also on the Samsung television. It's just using my OTT service. Why don't we mix that instead? So one of the key decisions we made a couple of years ago is that we're going to make it one television market, platform agnostic. And we did that together with MMS, which is the Swedish JIG for independent TV measurement. So about a year ago, they launched the online television measurement. And actually, this fall, they have now launched the total television measurement. So if you're an advertiser in Sweden, you invest in linear, you invest in AVOD digital, you can go to MMS and you can get your reach and frequency across all platforms. And again, that is TV legacy. That's how we do it. We measure it. We measure it by an independent body. We give access to the advertisers what they're actually paying for. And part of this is obviously when we look at the market and we see all the exciting digital development, we also, of course, realize that what they're really going for is our TV money. And either we go to their playing field and we say, you know what? Here's television. How do we put it into your cool digital environment? Or we do the other way around. So guys, you want to do television? Great. Welcome over. Welcome to our home. Here we work with independent, transparent measurement. And on the case of transparency, TV is always transparent. Okay, measurements for linear TV is not perfect, but at least it's got full transparency. We apply totally the same in the digital world. We expose all the data we have for the TV4 online inventory. MMS do the same. You can get completion rate. You can get in-screen. You can get viewability. I saw our colleague here saying something about 70% viewability. You're welcome to me. I offer you 99% viewability. So we put it all out there. And if we put it out there and we're the biggest in our country, then anyone else taking money from us has to put their data out there as well. And you know what? When you start comparing, they'll struggle to do 70. I don't struggle to do 99. And also on the sake of transparency, the value chain of television. In the old days, advertisers, you pay a bit of money, you know the agency take a chunk of it, and then a percentage, and then you have the TV channel. I guess we've all done the research ourselves, buying our own media, gasping at the fact that 40–50% somehow miraculously disappears on the way. And that's also not the way we work it in TV. In TV, we work with transparent deals, right? The advertiser should know who's taking his money. So in Sweden, if you work with TV4, and as mentioned, we're the biggest, you always get the price we're getting. So you can have any deal you want for buying digital with your agency or whatever or whatnot. Our price is always transparent to you. So any advertiser in my channels, if they're getting the feeling that I really wonder what I'm paying for, they just contact their sales guy, or they find it on the internet, and they can find that whatever they're paying, they can see what we're getting. And of course, that's the way to do it as well. That is a healthy TV market, platform agnostic. So that's the second part. I mean, there's a lot in the legacy of television that should be the way we build the future for television as well. So trust your content, monetize your legacy, and now you're all feeling, so this guy is only fighting to save the past. Huh? Of course, when you do that, there is so much improvement to be made as a broadcaster by embracing the new opportunities. We're a country of 4.5 million households, roughly 9 million people, so like a suburb to London. TV4, my digital services, I have 3.7 million logged in users. i.e., it's not everyone, but it's not far from. And on these users, I know who you are. I know your income. I know a lot of stuff that for me, together with the advertisers, of course, is gold. So data is at the core of everything we do. We're shifting as much of our inventory from a linear to a digital inventory as soon as possible. We're doing live ad insertion in all our linear OTT distribution on our own services. Come early 2018, we'll do it with the first operators and so on. We're moving all, or as much as possible of our inventory into digital. But as said before, the most important thing is that we're going to make it one inventory. And as also mentioned, new ways of selling. Today, you have the option at TV4 to buy linear. You can buy digital, or you just buy our total television product. These days, it's up to you. In the future, and let's see what year that future is, I'm sure that we're only going to be trading total TV or total inventory. These days, you can buy our digital inventory programmatic, both from a structured data set and as an IOU plan, but also in real time. And it's great. But you know what? Advertisers also like predictability. They want to know that they have access to the Swedish people in 2018. So they don't want to save everything for the programmatic. And as some said, I think, from Google, it's the combination that makes sense. And for me, it's really easy. Whoever pays the best dollar gets the inventory. So of course, trusting your content, monetizing the fantastic legacy that we have in television is two important things. Moving the playing field to where you used to play, but you have to combine it with embracing all the new possibilities. So that's what we're doing. Of course, we're in the middle of everything. I might be back next year and tell you that everything went south from there. But right now, we're growing. I set both a new TV4 record and a new personal record. We had a 99% digital growth in October this year. Just 1% of 100, which is annoying, obviously. But we're growing, and we're seeing the significant money coming in from the digital part of our business. Yeah, I guess that's it. Experience from Sweden.
Thank you very much, Mathias. Any questions? Yep, a question over. 1 second, just to mic. Yep.
Sorry, I just want to ask you.
Can you just say who you are? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm from a business in South Africa called DSTV Media Sales. So we're a television. We represent like 72 channels across the continent of Africa. What I do want to ask you is a little bit about your AVOD model. I'm interested to hear that you've grown it by over 35%. I want to understand
70.
Over 70%. I want to understand who curates that content for AVOD, how much of the brands decide what they want to support, or whether the sales house, your salespeople actually decide that, or the content creators for the linear broadcast decide it.
You know what? We have stopped internally. We have stopped dividing ourselves in digital and linear. We do great histories, and great histories work independent of platform. And that is true to 75%. Obviously, you have different target groups on a linear and a digital platform. So we do curate our OTT services targeting a younger demo. But the fantastic thing when you use TV4 Play is that it's not, you know, a service curated for an average Swede. It's curated for you. So we have as much content as we need for anyone above 40. Below 40, we are producing digital-only content only available on TV4 Play, because our objective is that every day there should be the perfect TV night for you at TV4 Play. And of course, the perfect TV night depends on who you are and what you like. So, but basically, the main point is that we don't want to divide it in linear and digital any longer. We think that's history.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mathias.
Thank you.